Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm here with a message for you. Happy Thursday, everyone. It's December 5th, 2024. I am a day late, but not a dollar short from a message yesterday. I was busy. I didn't have the time to come on early, and it was just a lot. I'm just not even gonna make excuses. Just know if you don't see me is with good reason, and I will always try my absolute best to make it up at some point in the week. So you may more than likely look forward to either a message on an off day that I typically wouldn't post, like the weekend, or two in one of these days. So, just bear with me through the holiday season, because there's a lot going on in my world that I'm adjusting to, and sometimes I just can't get to the table to honor this commitment the way that I would like to, but I'll always make it up to you as best I can, all right? So anyway, I hope you're doing well. I hope your holiday season, or just your winter, well, it's not quite winter yet, although it feels like it here, my God. The temperature and the wind, it feels like freezing. I went and opened my door for a second, and the temperature says 37, but the wind, it's gotta be 32. It's gotta be. And it's pretty strong and aggressive, so whatever that means. But in any event, I definitely send the highest vibrations of love and light to you and yours. And I hope that you're just really enjoying yourself, wherever you are, whatever you're doing at this time. So let me cut it one more time. Matter of fact, let's do a 3. And then one more, and let's get to it. All right. Should have left well enough alone. Oh goodness, here's the devil card. Let's just get at it. Why don't we? And then we got the 9 of Wands, and then the Star. Interesting. I'm gonna just keep going backwards. Star, 4 of Pentacles, and like somebody's trying to hold on to someone's ascension, or hold on to someone's success, hold it back, or it's like this energy is trying to keep someone from moving forward successfully. It's like misery loving company. That's what I'm getting, because they're over here stuck in some type of diabolical commitment or contract, maybe a relationship that is toxic, or it actually could, be some type of contractual agreement or business arrangement, or bad deal, some type of bad deal that's over here, that's got somebody in regret, maybe even a little bit paranoid, definitely a little beat down with the 9 of Wands. That's like a wounded warrior right there. So it's like it's traumatic, it's toxic, it's dramatic perhaps, but it's I just heard Sophie's Choice. I know that that's a movie, but I don't even really know what that movie is about. But I feel like it's about like prostitution or something, if I'm not mistaken, or something taboo or another. So take that how it resonates. But somebody's over here that made a choice. Maybe it's just even lifestyle choices that someone committed themselves to in such a way that it's creating entanglements, entrapments, or what's the word that I'm looking for? It could be addiction, but it feels like there was a word I just heard. Attachments. Yeah. Ugh. Demonic attachments, definitely no bueno. So yes, definitely giving misery loves company, where someone pretty much wants to try to intercept those, or someone or someone's advancement and success in exchange for their misery. Literally to just do an old switcheroo or swap out, or to really just contain someone, like to attach their burden onto someone else, or to attach someone to their burdens. You know how drama and trauma can go. You know, it definitely can be infectious, contagious and infectious, or impactful even just by association if you're not careful. So that's the energy I'm getting here. But somebody is definitely in their healing space, you know, with the star card. That's definitely, and it could even be someone that is wanting to attach to like a high vibrational energies at this time, to supplement where they feel deficient, you know, because of what they're attached to, or what they somehow are, you know, what strongholds they have created in their lives, or contributed to in some way. But the Six of Swords is, it's like somebody's literally going to have to watch those ships sail them by, if that's their intention. Anybody that's in that frequency at this point, because if for those that are in the star energy, prioritizing their healing, their destiny, their most supreme selves, self-care, self-love, you know, being self-aware of all of those things, and all of those things being a priority, they're not so easily breached or contained, held back, manipulated, monopolized. Like, it's not that simple to siphon that energy as it has been in the past. It takes a great deal of work and dedication to even probably get a sip of the energy that was probably damn near a running tap before. Just because people are just more aware of themselves, more aware of their personal strongholds, and how to manage and heal in their own right, and then more aware of the boundaries that they establish against any interferences or interruptions, and proactively and also reactively to avoid strongholds such as this, and entanglements such as this, where you see a relationship of red flags from a mile away, and instead of, you know, trying your luck because it, you know, it sounds good or it's tempting, you decide to say like, nah, no, I don't think that that's best for me right now, you know. Or habits that used to be quite sensational at a time, and they may have even served a purpose, whether it be recreationally or you know, self-medicinally, so to speak. But you decide like, nah, that's just not where I want to invest my energy, my money, my time, you know. So you abstain, you know. So it's just really a matter of choices, and some people are really managing the outcome of certain of a series of choices that have been made over a course of time. Like the Nine of Wands, the Pentacles is years, I believe, but the Nine of Wands, I mean, it could be years, it could be months, maybe someone over a period of 9 months or so. Shoot, it could be 9 lives, you know, like 9 lifetimes that someone's pretty much been regenerating and choosing violence in their life every single time, and it's wow, the sun is glaring and it's so beautiful right now. You wouldn't know how the wind is blowing, but the sun is so gorgeous. But yeah, like it could be that this is definitely to me a representation of someone's actions and now what they may be experiencing on account of those choices and actions. And certainly looking toward the devil energy is definitely reading addictions, or just points of either let's say like maybe a lack of discipline. There's one discipline, a lack of temperance, self-control, some type of temptation, again, habitual, indulging, maybe again, dependency. So whatever it is, especially with the Four of Pentacles, is definitely something about holding on here, where the Six of Swords is moving on. So it could, yeah, it's definitely Four of Pentacles holding on to things that like kind of what's left, what really considering what's left of yourself, of your material world, of your resources, of your support system. I just heard. Maybe they're in the position where they're seeing a lot of things actually kind of flee from them or transition from their lives. Like, yeah, like, and this is definitely not a surrender energy. Neither is the Nine of Wands to me. So somebody's feeling a grave attachment to things that are ultimately transitioning. Whether it's habits or people, places, ideals, a certain way of life, actual money. Like definitely emphasis on the money and resources here. Access, associations, opportunities. Damn, God forbid somebody's actually losing a lot on account of their addictive patterns, like not being able to like properly manage life. I don't know. Let's move on. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, like, because what it's giving me is that almost like the spirit is trying to usher in a season of healing for someone and usher out, perhaps this is what this is representing, like either usher someone out of the presence of temptation and trauma and drama, or usher others out of their force field, and they're holding on to with for dear life to it. It's like, what can you do with that? Yeah, here's the Fool card, which should be a new beginning, but someone's still, trying to create new pathways with old behaviors, old destructive behaviors at that. And spirit is pulling the other way, the opposite direction, like, no, come this way. Ain't nothing promising over there where you at. It's like the wind is literally trying to blow. Remember I said the wind is so aggressive right now, and the sun was so bright and pretty. It's like somebody's being blown in the direction toward the light, perhaps by even a sequence of unfortunate events themselves that are literally pointing, Nine of Wands, pointing someone in another direction, to kind of shut down what they are attached to. And there's definitely a stronghold here. Strong emphasis on strong and hold. You know, like a very dark attachment. It could really just be an addiction. And I feel like somebody's maybe even picked up new habits that they didn't even have before. I don't know why I'm feeling that. Well, perhaps because of the Fool card. It's like somebody's, there could be either this is true now or this is the danger that someone is at risk of now intensifying their addictions, you know, like almost graduating, which is not obviously a graduation, is really a spiraling, but where someone may just have been a drinker or popped a couple pills or smoked a little weed. It's like there's some danger of escalation here to something harder, to something more aggressive, perhaps behaviors that are getting darker, or more like somebody's like almost too far gone, you know, literally finding themselves, okay, because it might be a lack of resources. So you know how it is, like when you go from doing one substance, well, hopefully you don't, and I don't either, but you know, when you go from doing one substance to, you know, and you can't, like say cocaine, for instance. But really, I think more on the lines of the pills more than anything. Those pills, like you start on those, and when you can't get the supply that you have access to anymore, or you can't afford it, you start to defer to lesser drugs, like lesser in quality and less expensive, like heroin, or like usually heroin is the thing, or like oh gosh, I hope not, my God. They got all types of stuff out here now, or like a lesser quality of something that is more dangerous because it's not pure, like the fentanyl. And let's just get off of that. But that's what I'm sensing, that someone is, like the spirit is trying to snatch up some energies from completely being swallowed into the abyss right now. And or at a time, at least it was subtle. Well, I can't say it was subtle, but it was clear, but it wasn't so aggressive. And it has become progressively aggressive because of the growing threat of someone almost like reaching the point of no return, because the more despair that they are experiencing on account of the, you know, the misery that they're incurring, the more susceptible they are to even more volatile behaviors and habits to try to, again, self-soothe, medicate, cope, numb themselves, like, you know, find some sense of satisfaction, relief, whatever it is. But it's definitely headed in the wrong direction. We've got the Nine of Pentacles here, which is about independence and stability and security. I don't know, let's see. That was a Ten of Wands. We just, see what I'm saying? Like an escalation. We went from the 9, the 8 is acceleration, and then the 10. Wow, the King of Swords. who should be well within his right mind to make wise decisions. Pardon me, so sorry. Let's see what we got here. I hear love lost. That's a large part of someone's despair is on account of, because like I said, that could definitely be a relationship or some type of entanglement there with the devil card, and it could be some type of yearning here for just pure love, more and even more so if we want to, you know, make this more practical, trying to find, I don't even know if they're trying to find it, but they're being a void in self-love and care for sure with the Queen of Cups. It could be actually, you know, yearning for a connection that is pure, that is loving, that is caring, whether it be one that was lost or just that void in general. But I feel right now it's more, I mean, it always is anyway, it's more interpersonal than it is external, even if someone may perceive it as that. Like how, you know, how are you loving yourself? And the energy that I'm speaking of, like, not very much. This is someone that is completely, or at least was, I don't know if this is a turnaround with the King of Swords and the Queen of Cups, but under the Nine of Wands, yeah, I don't know what's on the bottom. The Magician. Certainly someone has the strength and the skill and intelligence to turn around and to prioritize their personal healing, and even make it practical, like make it make sense, you know, as it needs to. So, you know what I'm, like, I don't know how to explain that, but with the King of Swords, it's like the logic is accessible. You know, it's not like somebody's so far gone, maybe this, it's not like somebody's so far out of their mind that they can't collect themselves back to their natural state of being, you know, a more pure state of being, find their way to recovery, healing, that Nine of Pentacles energy, stability, grounded, secure, self-sufficient, you know, even in, maybe perhaps even in their own solitude. Someone has the capacity, you know, to do that, but here's the challenge, is like they're still looking at that stronghold, that temptation and that addiction, whether it be within the people, places, or things that they have entangled themselves with. And that is that's, you know, the challenge. It's like somebody needs to, or some people need to completely find themselves in solitude to save themselves ultimately. And like I said, misery loves company. It is what it is as we know it, but it could also just be someone not wanting to be alone with themselves right now, and within their thoughts and what they're feeling, and, you know, and that in the stress of recovery, maybe even the withdrawal of transformation as it is, or purging certain frequencies. You know, it's hard to do that in solitude and feel sane and secure, you know, in that process. So it could be someone literally that's just reaching out for a friend or wanting a friend, but in a lot of ways, sometimes like that's a process that has to happen on your own, whether it's a substance, whether it's a spiritual awakening, whether it's you know, a renewal of the mind, and hell, sometimes even physical transformation. You know, there are certain things that you have to discipline. There it is, that word again, discipline yourself to do or not do in order to have optimum results. So definitely a challenge, but it's given that somebody knows what makes sense. It's just a matter of if they have the will and the strength to see it through. Yeah, oh, 2 for 1. So we got the, I'm gonna do this because what do I usually do that? I don't know. It doesn't matter because they're kind of clarifying each other, so whatever. So we got the 7 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups. Yeah, so that's what I was saying, like something about the past that someone is thoughtful about, perhaps too thoughtful at this time, because with the 7 of Pentacles and the 6 of Cups, like there's a lot of nostalgia here and contemplation, you know, taking inventory perhaps of old connections and relationships. But this could be even of the toxic ones, you know, or overall what someone has been investing their energy into, and considering what it's yielded, you know, or what they've gotten out of those investments and out of those connections. With the 4 of Pentacles, and it's like still up under that 4 of Pentacles, the healing part is taking the inventory, is, you know, finding your place to that awareness and maybe introspection. Kinda, because I can't say it's really introspection, because he's still looking outside of himself for answers. But it's a start, at least. But there's still this, what is that with the 4 of Pentacles? It's like it's not a resistance. That's more the 4 of Cups, but it's like I can't think of a word for it. It's a holding on to, but there's something more clear I want to get out. It's like somebody can't move on. Like almost like a refusal to move on. From the past. They're either still counting, they're too nostalgic, maybe even romanticizing the past and what, like the good old times or the good old days, or what it used to be, how things used to materialize, or what they could gain out of situations or relationships in the past, or even how they may have benefited from their previous actions in the past. Yeah, that's where the romanticism is, because the reality is that this is a 9 of Wands. There's some sense of regret at this point at the 9 of Wands, but someone's still looking at the bright side of what of the good old days, but bypassing the detriment. You know, it's like looking back at the times, yeah, when we used to smoke hella weed and da 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 da. You know what I mean? Like really nostalgic for how fun and carefree a time was. This is just an example, because whatever it is they're romanticizing, it may not be as primitive as this, like fun and carefree, or even have anything to do with drugs. But there's something about considering the good old times, but forgetting about the fact that maybe you spent, like bypassing the fact that you spent a hell of a lot of money, when you were in that habit, or when you were partying like a rock star, or you may have been in some real compromising positions, partying with certain people or doing certain things. It's like, oh yeah, that was so much fun, or it was so beneficial, or whatever it is. But there was definitely a dark side of it too that is more prevalent in the present moment. Like that's the residue that is left over, not the good old times. The good old times have long since passed. And now it's like, now you dealing with the dependency, or maybe even the toll that it could have taken on your physical body. Maybe the depletion that it's made on your financial security, and stability. Maybe the fact that you could have lost good relationships, or tarnished some type of connections when you were high, or did some things you wouldn't be so proud of when you were high, or when you were in certain behaviors, or indulging in a certain lifestyle. Or you may have lost a job because you couldn't, stay clean. And so, so it's like somebody is not seeing the forest for the trees. They're still just thinking about how good it was to escape, or to have an escape. And now in this season, it's like, here it is with the Six of Pentacles. Someone doesn't really have an escape. They're kind of bound to, again, the residual effects of their actions and their investments. And there's no detachment from those effects anyway, just detachment from the behaviors themselves, or the intentions and actions themselves, maybe even the people themselves, that would continue to perpetuate those effects, and perhaps even, as I said, intensify or elevate or escalate them in a dark sense. But it's never going to be what it was when it was all good. It's like chasing that first high again, generally speaking. It's never ever going to be that. And that's a lot of times why people graduate to different drugs, or transition, I should say, to different drugs, because you can never get that feeling that you got on that first hit, or, whatever it is. So it's like somebody's chasing, what do they call that? Chasing the white horse? I don't know if that's a thing. It sounds like a thing. Whoa, look at this, Seven of Swords. Yeah, like that. But ultimately, they are psyching themselves out. They are really psyching themselves out. That's what I'm getting here, more than it has anything to do with anybody else. Why, though? Or it could even be, there's some type of deception here. They may be fooling themselves, or lying to themselves about how much despair they're experiencing. They could even be lying to other people, hiding their despair. I don't know, but there's some deception here. I feel like it's a mix between the two, especially when I'm saying like somebody's kind of romanticizing an error. They're probably lying to themselves a little bit. If, of course, if you are omitting some of the truth, especially of the present time, that some part of that might have been great. Like me, for instance, when I talk about my glory days, you know, smoking weed, you know, I like I always say, it ain't no judgment here, because I know what a stronghold and a habit, damn near addiction, dare I say, looks like and feels like. You know, when it's it becomes a necessary uh I don't know what to say, like a habit, I don't know, like a necessary substance or whatever, like a dependency for sure, you know, in many ways. Not all the time, but at certain times and peaks and valleys and things like that. But it's one thing to talk about, you know, the fun of the feeling and certain adventures that were had at certain moments, and even some of the people that I've met, especially in New York, you know, like I said, it was very culturally driven in the city. You know, it was like a whole subculture, especially when I was there, of when, you know, exotic weed was really like almost a little exclusive club. Like everybody wasn't just smoking any old thing. You was proud to smoke the best of the best, you know what I mean? So it's one thing to like glorify, that's what it is, it's something about glorifying something that there is really no glory left in for someone, at least in this moment. But it's one thing to glorify the brightest moments of an experience, but you certainly can't dismiss the downsides. You know, when I consider how much money I've spent over the years on the best and the worst, well, never the worst, because I was never that desperate, but with the best and the all right, so, you know, substances that could have been put to use, you know, in something far more sustainable and productive and long lasting. The energy that I expended or didn't expend, because you know how weed affects you and your senses. You usually do want to do more chilling than anything else, at least in a lot of the weed here. I know certain places, well, now just about everywhere, you can have certain, you know, frequencies of substance that will actually enliven you or give you more energy, so they say, you know. But I gotta say, is not, I haven't really smoked much of anything like that myself. But either way, you know, it's like there's always a dark side. It's just the polarity of life. So it's really, it comes down to the choice of what you're willing to sacrifice or overlook, or, you know, what really matters to you. Would it be nice to kick back and blow one down every day after a long day? Sure. But what are the long-term effects, you know, on my body, on my lungs, on my energy level, you know, my finances, you know, everything has to be taken into account. It can't just be glorified to be one thing when there's clearly multiple aspects of it. So anyway, I don't know, all that to say is that that's the point of deception that someone is in, perhaps with themselves, maybe just because they're just some people, you know, in general, maybe not one person, but you know why I'm saying it as if I'm talking about a person, but somebody that knows the truth or has access to the truth, even by the evidence in their surroundings and in their life, but they're still not willing to, I guess, submit to the truth. and be one with it. So it just literally could be someone that is just not ready to stop doing what they're doing. It sounds good. They may even be telling, spinning a narrative that they are changed, or they are changing, or they are recovering, or, that's what their intentions are. But it doesn't look like that with the Seven of Swords. It's like somebody is still very much so attached to something that is also quite attached to them, that they don't have as much control over as they would either like to believe that they do or want others to believe that they do. And this is the point, this is why it's like trigger warning now at this point for someone literally from the divine, because it's like this is that point of that crossroad moment where it's like, all right, you're at the point where you still got your right mind about you. You're not completely, I was about to say doing something strange for change, but I don't know. I don't know how far gone it is, but at least somebody is aware, It basically is spirit trying to catch somebody before they literally no longer have any control over their impulses anymore. Hopefully that not already being the case. Like when you are just completely overtaken by the urge. Wow. And the King of Pentacles just flipped in the reverse. Like I said, they already losing money. And if that is not clear enough, it's like, what else can be more convincing? Wow, the High Priestess. And they want to keep it a secret. So that confirms what I'm saying about this impression. Yeah, so it's like, damn. And that's what's really putting somebody in a tough spot, because their pride is bruised on account of what's been lost. Like I said, still holding on to this image, this ideal, this persona, or actual resources. So again, that just induces the desire to want to self-soothe, medicate, numb your emotions, or you numb your senses. And it's like somebody's definitely at a great loss here, or having some type of fall from grace that they want to keep secret. Like that's the deception, is because it's like someone also may not be able to really get the support that they need, because they're not being totally honest about what they're truly experiencing. Like they may still be trying to save face or keep up a facade of like, yeah, I might do a little too much, but they got it under control. That's what this energy is, like this projection of, I got it under control. I'm handling it. I'm getting counseling. I'm going to, you know what I mean? Or I might do a little this or that on the weekends, but I'm not, I don't know. But with the High Priestess here, it's like, but the King of Wands is in the King of Pentacles is in the reverse. I feel like it's them thinking that they're doing a good job concealing and hiding the truth, but I feel like it's beginning to show. Maybe somebody's not taking care of themselves, as much as they used to. They're not as presentable, or they're not just not as polished and well kept as they usually are. Maybe just not even wearing the same type of clothes, or not as stylish as they usually are. As I said before, that could be how the the facade is deteriorating is because they're actually losing so much in their livelihood, from money to jobs to opportunities to maybe even a home or whatever their stability is. They're holding on to it for dear life by a thread. So it's not even much to conceal anymore. You know, it's kind of like speaking for itself comparatively to how someone used to present themselves. But still, that's still someone also worrying about the wrong things, if it even matters, to look like you got it all together at a time when you absolutely don't. That could be part of the glorification and the romanticism as well. Like King of Swords here, looking like I got it. I'm straight. You know, I'm shooting straight. I'm in my right mind. I got all of my senses about me. I'm smart. Like they think they got it all figured out, or at least want people to believe that. But it's not evident in how they look. It's not evident in the life that they're living that people can actually witness. Let's see what's on the bottom here. Yeah, this is more what they're looking like. A Knight of Wands. Somebody that's just reckless, undisciplined, impulsive, maybe compulsive, out of control, lustful. That was my phone. Let me see something real quick. I'm waiting on something. Lustful, oh, hold on. 1 second, guys. I'm so sorry. Hold on. I wonder if I can call them. Oh boy, I'm sorry. To Target. Sorry, this is terrible. Please. Target uses these independent third-party deliverer services. I think it's called Shipped or whatever. And for whatever reason, they always have an issue, and you never know when they're using a third party when you actually place the order. You just place the order and then you don't find out until they update the shipping information. So for some, if you don't connect with them right away, which they did at least update that feature, because before, if they couldn't find your address, they just send it back and you have to cancel it. And sometimes you can't have them resent. So anyway, I'm saying all this to say that that's why it's so important for me to have this dialogue right now, because for the first time they're actually reaching out in real time to try to get better direction, even though I posted specific special delivery directions for them to get here, because my address doesn't come up on GPS sometimes. So anyway, this is also a traveler, by the way, who, in this case, speaking, to pull from that experience is just misdirected. They're again heading still in that direction that is not ideal. That's not leading them to their liberation, their healing, their more of a hopeful experience. Definitely leading down, like, as I was saying, like more of a spiral or down spiral or demise. Let's see what's on this side. Yeah, and this is the debauchery here. The Three of Cups, the distraction even at times. And for the Knight of Wands, this is one of the greatest distractions there is. Whether it's a party, a good time, again, more habits, more just debauchery in general, or women for sure with the Knight of Wands. So it's like pick your poison type of energy. Literally, there is like somebody's got a couple of distractions that can ultimately veer them, keep them on that path toward their darker nature, or at least their more carnal side than the more spiritual expression of themselves. So anyway, I don't know, but I'm gonna leave it here. I'm so sorry for that dramatic pause, and I can't say that I'm necessarily going to edit it out, because I don't have a lot of storage on this phone to be able to do that, but please forgive me. Ultimately, it probably doesn't have much to do with you, as the listener, as much as it is definitely something to consider when you are, oh, thank you, they got it, thank you. When you are having your own propositions of connection and dating and friendship and opportunities, and you're certainly not limited to romantic, platonic, everything of the sort. So it just definitely pays to consider that in this season, a lot of, as I said, the facades are breaking down. As soon there just won't be a mask to hide behind for anyone. It just is what it is, which is why everyone's being called to the most supreme healing that you can possibly achieve for yourself through self-love and care. But it can really look like a good deal. People, place, or thing. And you could literally, how we started this off, like you could literally be, if you're not in this space here, you could be deceived, to not see it for what it is in the spirit, more so than what you might perceive in the natural or in the physical. So just keep your eyes peeled and your senses on high alert, because everything matters at this time, but especially you and your well-being, particularly if you've been quite conscious of keeping your well-being as secure as possible, and ultimately ascending as high as you can possibly aspire to do so. One small infraction or misalignment, misconnection or a disconnection could impede upon what has ultimately been a very arduous season of self-healing, maybe even a lifetime or lifetimes of such, where you've been moving in a direction of this energy here. So that is what is top priority. Nobody else's misery is anyone else's responsibility or obligation at this time. So all you can do is just pretty much hope for the best and pray for the rest. But I will leave it there. Thank you for listening and watching. Until next time, as always, I leave you with peace.